Top of the day, beautiful people. My little bookmark is missing. All right, beautiful people. Nope. What's it? 118. Gotta put a bookmark in here. Top of the day, beautiful people. Avon, blessings, blessings. Oh, let's see. I don't know if I mistakenly knocked it out or it went somewhere else. Okay, beautiful people. Happy Wednesday. It is December the 1st, 2021. Day 316 of year 3 of reading through the books of the law and the prophets. And of the 3-year consecutive day count, day 984. Today we are reading Psalms 144 through 146. Then we're going to read the rest of chapter 14 in Shakespeare's Secret Messiah, starting on page 418. All right, beautiful people. I wanted to share a reference with y'all, right? But in the front of the book, now mind you, I have not read any other books by this author, but I simply wanted to share it because we're going through the Psalms, right? And I like the way they break the Psalms out for prayers. Auntie Belinda Brown, shalom, shalom. Listen, so yesterday when I was going through it, I was going through the different prayers. It literally has Psalm 1 through Psalm 150, and it shows you what each psalm is good to pray for, different things you're believing for, increasing your faith and everything, which is something I learned growing up. That's something my mom taught me, right? So it's like, if you need protection, feel like you need protection, pray Psalm 91, right? Like that. So that's why I got the book. But in the front of the book, matter of fact, let me just show y'all. Pause 1 second. I want to share it, but I'll tell you why. I was kind of leery of sharing it with you because of the first page in the book. But like I said, I have not read any of these other books that this author has read. I simply want to share it with you because of how it breaks down the Psalms, right? Okay. 1 second. I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to tell you why. Hold on. Okay, y'all. Yahuwah is one, peace and blessings. Listen, okay. It's called Powers of the Psalms. 375 ways to use Psalms, right? This is what it looks like. Now, I do know that this book, if you see it on Facebook, I do know that this book is also floating around or being passed around in the occultic world, right? Simply because they understand how powerful the scriptures are and how powerful the Psalms are, right? So I wanted to say that as a disclaimer. I'm not sharing this with you for you to go into doing all kinds of other stuff we won't even be talking about, right? I mean, you do what you do on your own time, whatever. Everybody got their own path. The only reason why I'm sharing this with you, right? If you are curious, depending on what type of Bible you have, some Bibles will have subheadings for each chapter, but not all of them. And I really think it should, right? So like if you are, I don't know, you're being depressed. I mean, those are easy to find, right? Anything, almost anything that King David wrote, there's a prayer, outcry, a prayer of despair for Yah to lift you up out of your disparity, right? Let me share with you. Maybe hold on. First we should, I know I started talking about it. Let me just share with you. Okay, so the reason why I said this author is by Anna River, and she's the author of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 other books, right? Well, 12 other books, 13 including this one. But some of those other books are more so catered to the occultic world, right? Because some of them are on candle burning, some of them are on herbal spell books and secrets of magical seals and stuff, right? I ain't gonna read all of them. The titles are all of them, but I'm just letting you know that that's there. I have not read those books. I don't know what's in those books, but I do know the power of Psalms, and I know what's in here. And I thought this was a good guide simply for prayer reasons, right? And if you're having issues with different things and you want to see what scripture says about it and how maybe there's a prayer that you can align yourself with certain scriptures to kind of help you along for whatever it is you're doing, right? So, like, they have a subject list, right? You know what? Let me just read you this little the introduction of this, right? And you be the judge, okay? Sometimes covers and different things are gatekeepers, but it's really information in there that might be useful for you. So let me read the little introduction to this, right? Okay. And I decided to do it now because tomorrow we're gonna be done with the book of Psalms. So I figured I better introduce it now. And those of you that will, you can get it from Amazon. I got it from Amazon, right? I ain't getting paid for it, but I'm sharing it with you because I think it's a good, powerful reference to use, right? Daily life, warfare, whatever it is you're dealing with. Okay. The introduction. The perfect prayer book. That is what the book of Psalms has been called. Written over a period of about 800 years, probably from about 1000 to 167 BC, these 150 poems and hymns are the most important existing collection of Hebrew national and religious poetry. The Book of Songs consists of 5 books, possibly in imitation of the 5 books of Moses in the Bible, which is Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. Psalms 1 through 41 comprise Book 1. Psalm 42 through 72, Book 2. 73 through 89, Book 3. 90 through 106, Book 4. And 107 through 150, Book 5. And we're currently in Book 5. We're literally about to end it, right? Tomorrow. Each of the first 4 books end with a doxology, an expression of praise to God. Psalm 150 serves as this for Book 5. 73 of the Psalms are attributed to David, 12 to Asaph, 11 to the sons of Korah, 2 to Solomon, which are Psalms 72 and 127, 1 to Moses, which is Psalm 90, 1 to Ethan, which is Psalm 189, and 50 are anonymous in origin, though some of these were probably written by David. The Psalms contain the shortest, the longest, and middle chapters of the Bible. The shortest is Psalm 117. The longest is Psalm 119. The middle chapter is Psalm 118, whose 8th verse is also the middle verse of the Bible, which is, "It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man." Psalm 14 and 53 are almost identical, both authored by David. Verse 7 through 11 of Psalm 57 and verses 6 through 12 of Psalm 60 together duplicate Psalm 108 in its entirety. And all 3 of these are Psalms of David. Verse 13 through 17 of Psalm 40 are almost exactly the same as the whole of Psalm 70. Within the 5 books in the Psalms, there are subgroups. Psalms 42 through 49 are the Psalms of the sons of Korah. The Psalms of Asaph are 73 through 83. The Michem Psalms are 56 through 60. Psalms 113 through 118 are known as the Halal Psalms, which were sung on the night of Passover, Psalm 113 and 114 at the beginning of the meal, and Psalms 115, 116, 117, and 118 at the close. Another group of Psalms 120 through 134 are songs of degrees. They are also called Pilgrim Songs or Songs of Ascent. They were probably composed for vocal music to be sung by pilgrims on the road up to the Feast of Jerusalem. Psalm 121 may have been sung as they first caught sight of the mountains surrounding the city. Psalm 122 may have been sung as they neared the temple gate within the city walls, and 123 within the temple as the pilgrims lifted their eyes to God in praiseful prayer for his mercy. The Psalms are timeless in their summation of human emotion. In them, we find psalms of praise, psalms of rejoicing, psalms which are pleas for help, prayers for protection, for deliverance, and for mercy. It has been said that they are the whole of the heart of man. The psalms are the revealed word of God. They are the songs and prayers which were used by the ancient Jews and which are still being prayed daily by millions. David sang his devotions to God under any and all circumstances, whether the occasion was joyous or terrifying. He was always asking God for something and thanking Him for the answers to his prayers. He spoke of justice, righteousness, the wrath of God, and unceasing troubles, but his joy in God never diminished. Trust, praise, rejoice, and mercy. These are the themes of the Psalms. Learn to appreciate them. Make it a daily practice to read at least one of these inspiring poems. Savor them, meditate on them, sing them, love them, pray them, and utilize them. Use this book when needed, when life is full of joy. Pray with thanksgiving. When troubles confront us, pray for strength and courage. When bitterness enters our heart, pray that the animosity be taken from us. When danger threatens or defeat seems to overpower us, pray with faith and in trust, with confidence in the knowledge that whatsoever ye shall ask in prayer, believing, ye shall receive. In this book are the following four important features, all of them never before available in one volume. One, the entire text in the King James Version of all 150 Psalms is included. There is a Psalm index so that the one you want can be easily found. And I'm gonna read over that real quick too so y'all can see. And then y'all think about it and choose whether or not you want to get it in and use it as one of your tools of prayer and devotion. Number two, there is a short subject list of some general and most used objectives for quick reference use to find an applicable psalm for that purpose. Included in this list are suggested psalms for each day's morning and evening meditations. Number three, beneath each of the psalms, there are one or more specific purposes or objectives for which a suggested prayer, or manner of use is given. Among these many possible situations, there will surely be one which is suitable to your own particular problem or condition. Number four, at the end of the book, there is an extensive index of over 320 purposes for which one may wish to pray a psalm. Read through the list to find the need which most closely resembles your personal objective. In this index, the psalm number is shown. Find the number for that psalm in the psalm index, or simply thumb through the book. The psalms are in numerical order, Psalm 1 through 150. Make this your own personal prayer book. Within it, you will find morning prayers, evening prayers, daily prayers, and prayers for many, many specific intentions. Let your prayers, like the ancient sacrifices, ascend morning and evening. The days which begin and end with God will truly be blessed. And that is the introduction of this, and I thought it was really good because I've been using it, right? So, and it's really good. So there are some that I remember that are my go-tos for different things, but I found this really helpful for other things, right? And so, like, I give you like this the subject list in the front, but there's like it said in the introduction, there is also a index in the back. that goes into a bunch of different ones, right? So, matter of fact, subject index. Okay, so it's a subject list, or it shows you, so like the daily prayers, like Sunday morning is Psalm 92, Sunday evening, Psalm 134, Monday morning, Psalm 19, Monday evening, Psalm 8, Tuesday morning, hold on, it's so small, hold on. Tuesday morning, Psalm 121. Tuesday evening, Psalm 123. Wednesday morning, Psalm 47. Wednesday evening, Psalm 33. Thursday morning, Psalm 67. Thursday evening, Psalm 93. Friday morning, Psalm 96. Friday evening, Psalm 143. Saturday morning, Psalm 100. And Saturday evening, Psalm 103. So I just said that, so at least if you don't have it, at least you know where to go to get those prayers, right? And just in case you don't get it, but you want to know some of them, I figure I'll read the subject list of the Psalms, what it's for, but the index in the back is way more extensive. It's a few pages, going through a bunch of different stuff, like a psalm to pray when you are sad is Psalm 139. When tempted by evil lust, Psalm 56. When you feel unloved, Psalm 33. When you feel weak, Psalm 89. When you have lost faith, Psalm 77. When problems overwhelm, Psalm 118. When lonely, Psalm 32. And I'm just throwing some out here that are kind of sticking out. Maybe you might need them just in case you don't get the book. To protect the home, Psalm 18. Protect against lying lips, Psalm 140. To protect from insanity, Psalm 119, verses 65 through 72. To protect oneself in court, Psalm 38. To purify the home, Psalm 29. To put the past behind, Psalm 60. Let's see. Receive answer to prayer, Psalm 141. Receive grace, Psalm 103. Let's see. Release from prison, Psalm 142. Relieve tensions, Psalm 2. Remove hostile feelings, Psalm 140. Repel those with wicked objectives, Psalm 70. Restore a child's health, Psalm 127. Restore health to the afflicted, Psalm 119, verses 153 through 160. To restore lost hope, Psalm 143. Let's see. Safety on any journey, Psalm 128. Safety when traveling, Psalm 121. Let's see. Turn from sin, Psalm 119, verses 49 through 56. Understand divine providence. Understanding the ways of Yah, Psalm 149. Let's see. When confused, that's a good one. Psalm 119, verses 145 through 152. And I'm calling these out fast. I know y'all probably not taking notes, but if I call them out, at least y'all can come back to the video and y'all can kind of go through it if you don't get the book or can't afford the book. The book was only like $10. But you know, let's see. When in distress, Psalm 31. To shield from harm, Psalm 125. Security from assault, Psalm 44. Save oneself from a grievous error, Psalm 80. Save oneself from transgression, Psalm 81. Let's see. Become blessed with great spiritual growth, Psalm 14. Shayla, hey girl, hey. Before public speaking, which is one I use before the daily reading, Psalm 122. Um, Bless the Lord for all good, Psalm 144. Brighten one's view of the future, Psalm 84. Bring an enemy to justice, Psalm 94. Let's see. Bring peace between families, Psalm 98. Bring hope to the distressed, Psalm 6. Cast away unwholesome desires, Psalm 38. And with these, you can pray them daily. You can pray them once a day, twice a day, 3 times a day. Or if you really have an issue, you can pray them 7 times a day, whatever. It's up to you in your life, right? I'm going to just call out a couple more. Clarity of mind, Psalm 115. Cleanse the heart and the mind, Psalm 119, verses 9 through 16. Change a heart of malice, Psalm 137. To bring family unity, Psalm 97. And that's just a few, y'all. So y'all can see it's really good. You see, I kind of got it all marked up in pages bent. You might not be because I use a pen. Pages bent, marked up in prayers and stuff that I use on a daily basis. All right. So I really thought it was a good reference. But when you get it, I wanted to give that disclaimer so you won't be thrown off like, oh my gosh, have I got some book of the occult? Remember, occult simply, first of all, it just means hidden. Hidden. All right. But like I said, she got a list of all her other books in here that have occultic titles that I have not personally read, so I'm just saying I'm at this point I'm only recommending this one, right? All right, can't go wrong with the book of Psalms, right? And y'all didn't hear quite a few stories from me, even the one where I was afraid of the dark, where I was scared to sleep in my own house, going to sleep in my uncle and aunt house. That was before I got married, only had one child. They knew I didn't want to stay at my house by myself. My 5-year-old child couldn't do nothing to help me, right? So, but yeah, and that's when I although my mom taught me to pray the Psalms, that was when my aunt began to tell me how different Psalms will put my mind at ease, and just simply read them before I go to bed to bring my spirit to a peaceful state. And that's how that began my practice of actually letting the Bible play all the time. So I was constantly hearing it, getting into me, and I will always find myself at a state of peace, right? Or some people say, you seem like you just nonchalant, don't care about nothing. I've learned how to be content and contain myself and control my emotions for the most part. What do you mean you hate it here, son?
I had no breaks on the weekend. I'm tired of
come here, give me a hug. Give me a hug. You're adulting. Yes, you got to work every day. Yes, son. Yes, I love you so much.
No, who works on a weekend?
You, son, a man who will be the leader of his home and take care of his family. Good on you, son. You got a good father to teach you that, instill that to you. So take that trash out, son, before you get back out here to work. Jeremiah. His dad, look. His dad been working him like a Hebrew slave.
Yes.
Back and forth to Richmond every day. Now y'all got to go all out to Virginia Beach and get that done. Yes, son, yes. But it feels good earning your own money, don't it? Instead of always coming to ask us, hey, let me borrow $20 to law. All right, y'all, look, let's get it started. That was just the overview of the powers of the Psalms. We didn't even do the Shema yet. So let's go ahead and do the Shema chapter. But I hope that was helpful to somebody. Maybe now or maybe even later. But I got it pulled up. Deuteronomy chapter 6, beautiful people, is where we find the Shema. Remember, we started reading the whole chapter just for full clarity for everything, right? Let me pull this back up. Minimize it. Oh, we had 23 minutes. Oh, let me hurry up. Okay. A call for wholehearted commitment. These are the commands, decrees, and regulations that Yahu, your God, commanded me to teach you. You must obey them in the land you are about to enter and occupy, and you and your children and grandchildren must fear Yahu, your God, as long as you live. If you obey all his decrees and commands, you will enjoy a long life. Listen closely, Israel, and be careful to obey. Then all will go well with you, and you will have many children in the land flowing with milk and honey, just as Yahuwah, the God of your ancestors, promised you. Listen, O Israel, Yahuwah is our God, the Lord alone. And you must love Yahuwah, your God, with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength. And you must commit yourselves wholeheartedly to these commands that I'm giving you today. Repeat them again and again to your children. Talk about them when you're at home and when you're on the road, when you're going to bed and when you're getting up. Tie them to your hands and wear them on your forehead as reminders. Write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Go ahead.
Get that gate. You get that gate, Jamal? What are you doing with the door?
You must not worship any of the gods of neighboring nations, for Yahuwah your God, who lives among you, is a jealous God. His anger will flare up against you, and he will wipe you from the face of the earth. You must not test Yahuwah your God as you did when you complained at Massa. You must diligently obey the commands of Yahuwah your God, all the laws and decrees he has given you. Do what is right and good in Yahuwah's sight, so all will go well with you. Then you will enter and occupy the good land that Yahuwah swore to give your ancestors. All right. In the future, your children will ask you, what is the meaning of these laws, decrees, and regulations that Yahuwah our God has commanded us to obey? Then you must tell them, we were Pharaoh's slaves in Egypt, but Yahuwah brought us out of Egypt with his strong hand. Yahuwah did miraculous signs and wonders before our eyes, dealing terrifying blows against Egypt and Pharaoh and all his people. He brought us out of Egypt so he could give us this land he had sworn to give our ancestors. And Yahuwah our God commanded us to obey all these decrees and to fear him so he can continue to bless us and preserve our lives as he has done to this day. For we will be counted as righteous when we obey all the commands Yahuwah our God has given to us. Gil, shalom, shalom. Tiffany. Oh, you're welcome. She said that was definitely confirmation for me. Thanks. Robert Betwabu. You was talking about when I was reading the Psalms. Tiffany. I got this apple holding my phone up. I know this is a ghetto production, but at least my phone won't fall. Tanya 3000, shalom. All right, y'all. Let's get to the Psalms. Like, what? I done came in a half hour late and you just now starting or something? Because I was going over actually the power of the book of Psalms. Okay, 144. Yeah, so we definitely gonna be finished. We definitely gonna be finished with the book of Psalms tomorrow, going into Proverbs. Psalm 144, a psalm of David. Praise Yahuwah, who is my rock. He trains my hands for war and gives my fingers skill for battle. He is my loving ally and my fortress, my tower of safety, my rescuer. He is my shield, and I take refuge in him. He makes the nations submit to me. Oh, Yah, what are human beings that you should notice them? Mere mortals that you should think about them, for they are like a breath of air. Their days are like a passing shadow. Hey, Pootie.
Mommy,
Yes.
you don't do the blessing.
Yes, I'll call you when I do the blessing. We're not even close to doing the blessing yet, but I'll call you. You want to go back upstairs? Or you can sit and listen. Here, take that. We're going to go get a mani-pedi today, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Oh,
Here,
yeah.
Mommy.
Yes, baby.
Deep here, we put the feet in
Yes.
the water.
Yes, we can put our feet in the water, girl. Oh, Yah, what are human beings that you should notice them? Mere mortals that you should think about them, for they are like a breath of air. Their days are like a passing shadow. Open the heavens, Yah, and come down. Touch the mountains so they billow smoke. Hurl your lightning bolts and scatter your enemies. Shoot your arrows and confuse them. Reach down from heaven and rescue me. Rescue me from deep waters, from the power of my enemies. Their mouths are full of lies. They swear to tell the truth, but they lie instead. I will sing a new song to you, O God. I will sing your praises with a 10-stringed harp. For you grant victory to kings. You rescued your servant David from the fatal sword. Save me. Rescue me from the power of my enemies. Their mouths are full of lies. They swear to tell the truth, but they lie instead. May our sons flourish in their youth like well nurtured plants. May our daughters be like graceful pillars carved to beautify a palace. May our barns be filled with crops of every kind. May the flocks in our fields multiply by the thousands, even tens of thousands. May our oxen be loaded down with produce. May there be no enemy breaking through our walls, no going into captivity, no cries of alarm in our town squares. Yes, joyful are those who live like this. Joyful indeed are those whose God is Yahuwah. You can tell that's probably a prayer for prosperity, maybe one of protection, of blessing and increase. Definitely Psalm 145. I'm sorry, definitely Psalm 144 that we just read. We're about to read Psalm 145, which is a psalm of praise of David. I will exalt you, O Yah, my God and King, and praise your name forever and ever. I will praise you every day. Yes, I will praise you forever. Great is Yahuwah. He is most worthy of praise. No one can measure his greatness. Let each generation tell its children of your mighty acts. Let them proclaim your power. I will meditate on your majestic, glorious splendor and your wonderful miracles. Your awe inspiring deeds will be on every tongue. I will proclaim your greatness. Everyone will share the story of your wonderful goodness. They will sing with joy about your righteousness. Yahuwah is merciful and compassionate, slow to get angry, and filled with unfailing love. Yahuwah is good to everyone. He showers compassion on all his creation. All of your works will thank you, O Yah, and your faithful followers will praise you. They will speak of the glory of your kingdom. They will give examples of your power. They will tell about your mighty deeds and about the majesty and glory of your reign. For your kingdom is an everlasting kingdom. You rule throughout all generations. Yahuwah always keeps his promises. He is gracious in all he does. Yahuwah helps the fallen and lifts those bent beneath their loads. The eyes of all who look to you in hope. The eyes of all look to you in hope. You give them their food as they need it. When you open your hand, you satisfy the hunger and thirst of every living thing. Yahuwah is righteous in everything he does. He is filled with kindness. Yahuwah is close to all who call on him. Yes, to all who call on him in truth. He grants the desires of those who fear him. He hears their cries for help and rescues them. Yahuwah protects all those who love him, but he destroys the wicked. I will praise Yahuwah, and may everyone on earth bless his holy name forever and ever. Last chapter for today, Psalm 146. Praise Yahuwah. Let all that I am praise Yahuwah. I will praise Yahuwah as long as I live. I will sing praises to my God with my dying breath. Don't put your confidence in powerful people. There is no help for you there. When they breathe their last, they return to the earth, and all their plans die with them. But joyful are those who have the God of Israel as their helper, whose hope is in Yahuwah their God. He made heaven and earth, sea, and everything in them. He keeps every promise forever. He gives justice to the oppressed and food to the hungry. Yahuwah frees the prisoners. Yahuwah opens the eyes of the blind. Yahuwah lifts up those who are weighed down. Yahuwah loves the godly. Yahuwah protects the foreigners among us. He cares for the orphans and widows, but he frustrates the plans of the wicked. Yahuwah will reign forever. He will be your God, O Jerusalem, throughout the generations. Praise Yahuwah. That, my beautiful people, is our reading for today. That was Psalms 144 through 146. All right, so let's pick up with the rest of chapter 14. We had 33 minutes. Okay. Go to page 418 if you got the book. Okay. Let me go back right here. Finally, there is another comic point created by linking this particular passage from Isaiah to the dialogue regarding the honeypot that is surrounded by a serpent. By claiming that Vespasian will turn wise men backward, Sakai is indicating the purpose of the new Flavian religion of rabbinical Judaism, which was to use the honeypot of their religion to control the masses. Within the context of the conversation of the serpent, hold on. Within the context of the conversation, the serpent is clear enough. It refers to the messianic zealots who controlled the city. The honeypot, therefore, is Judaism itself, and is being referred to here as such because the Flavians recognized that the messianic religion could be used for control over the holy poly, or that's the common people, right? Those who are not in like the fivefold ministry or leadership position, just the common folk, the regular folk like us down here, right? They call us the hoi polloi, HOIPOLLOI. The Messiah and Judaism were not to be broken, but rather were a honeypot to be preserved as used by the imperial family to control its subjects. The next passage in the Talmudic story is fascinating for two reasons. First, because the scriptural application by Zacchaeus seems to indicate that the Romans paid him a bribe for his labors, and also because the same bizarre tale concerning the healing of Vespasian's foot was recorded in one ancient version of Josephus's parallel interview with Vespasian. Quote, at this point, a messenger came to him from Rome saying, up, for the emperor is dead, and the nobles of Rome have decided to make you the head of the state. He had just finished putting on one boot. When he tried to put on the other, he could not. He tried to take off the first, but it would not come off. He said, what is the meaning of this? Arjohanan said to him, do not worry. The good news has done it. As it says, good tidings make the bone fat. What is the remedy? Let someone whom you dislike come and pass before you, as it is written, a broken spirit driest up the bones. He did so, and the boot went on. He said to him, seeing that you are so wise, why did you not come to me till now? He said, I have not told you. He retorted, I too have told you. End quote. The passage in the Bible that pertains to a broken spirit drying the bone is Proverbs 17:22. Below is the passage and the one that follows it. Quote, a merry heart does good like a medicine, but a broken spirit dries the bones. A wicked man accepts a bribe behind the back to pervert the ways of justice. And that's Proverbs 17, verses 22 and verse 23. The passage may also provide a glimpse into how the Flavians controlled rabbinical Judaism. By stating that they will make the wise man's knowledge foolish, the author seems to be communicating the idea that Rome did not create an entire new group of Jewish priests, but rather simply establish a group of leaders under Roman control, the patriarchs, who made foolish those Jewish priests that already existed. Quote, he said, I am going and will send someone to take my place. You can, however, make a request of me and I will grant it. He said to him, give me Jabna and its wise men and the family chain of Rabban Gamaliel and physicians to heal our Zadok, our Joseph, or some say our Akiba. Applied to him the verse, God turneth wise men backward and maketh their knowledge foolish. He ought to have said to him, let them, the Jews, off this time. He, however, thought that so much he would not grant, and so even a little would not be saved. End quote. And that's Gideon chapter 56 or page 56. The next part of the Talmudic tale contains the story's most interesting literary device. In it, Zadok is brought back from the dead by reversing the process that led to Martha's starvation above. Whereas Martha went from looking for flour to coarse meal, Zadok goes from the coarse meal to flour. The comic point is that to recover from starvation, you must reverse the process that caused it. Once again, the reversal motif is in play here. The author is hereby also providing a clue to the condition that actually killed Martha, starvation. This in turn helps to illuminate the meaning of the delicate lady passage, that is to say, because she was starving. What? This in turn helps to illuminate the meaning of the delicate lady passage, that is to say, because she was starving, Martha ate her child. It should have a comma or something. I was about to read it as a run on sentence, but I needed to pause, right? I needed to visualize the comma or something there. Okay. I read it again. This in turn helps to illuminate the meaning of the delicate lady passage, that is to say, because she was starving, Martha ate her child. Quote, how did physicians heal our Zadok? The first day, they let him drink water in which bran had been soaked. On the day, on the next day, water in which there had been coarse meal. On the next day, water in which there had been flour, so that his stomach expanded little by little. End quote. And that's Gittin, page 56. The next part of the passage, keeping with the chronology of the events during the war, describes Titus's assault upon Jerusalem. A number of elements in the passage confirm the premise that the story was designed to document the divinity of the Flavians. First, Titus asked the question, where is their God, the rock in whom they trusted? This phrase comes from Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 37, and is a statement spoken by God. Quote, he will say, where are their gods, the rock in which they sought refuge, who ate the fat of their sacrifices and drank the wine of their drink offering? Let them rise up and help you and be your refuge. Now see that I, even I, am He, and there is no God besides me. I kill and I make alive. End quote. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verses 37 through 39. Titus then proceeds to desecrate the house of Yahweh and thereby prove himself the greater God. Of note is the statement that Titus thought that he had slain himself. The Hebrew word used in the statement for himself is a euphemism for God, which completely clarifies both the passage and the entire story. Further, the expression that is translated below as mighty in self restraint literally means mighty and hard, which in this context is certainly a joke regarding Titus's sexual prowess. Quote, sorry, y'all. I keep make sure. Okay. Quote, Vespasian sent Titus, who said, where is their God, the rock in whom they trusted? This was the wicked Titus who blasphemed and insulted heaven. What did he do? He took a harlot by the hand and entered the Holy of Holies and spread out a scroll of the law and committed a sin on it. He then took a sword and slashed the curtain. Miraculously, blood spurted out, and he thought that he had slain himself. As it says, thine adversaries have roared in the midst of thine assembly. They have set up their incense for signs. What? I'm just sitting here thinking about what a way to desecrate the scriptures. Jeez. Listen, I'm gonna just go back. What did he do? He took a harlot by the hand and entered the Holy of Holies and spread out a scroll of the law and committed a sin on it. He then took a sword and slashed the curtain. Miraculously, blood spurted out, and he thought that he had slain himself. He should have. As it says, thine adversaries have roared in the midst of thine assembly. They have set up their incense for signs. Abba Hanan said, who is a mighty one like thee unto thee, O Yah? Well, not, it didn't say Yah, it says Jah. O Jah, who is like thee, mighty in self-restraint, that thou didst hear the blaspheming and insults of that wicked man and kept silent. In the school of Ar Ishmael, it was taught, who is like thee among the gods, or Elim, Elim, it's gods, and the Hebrew word for gods, Elim. Who is like thee among the dumb ones, Elim, Il Imin, Illemin. Titus further took the curtain and shaped it like a basket and brought all the vessels of the sanctuary and put them in it, and then put them on board ship to go and triumph with them in his city, as it says, and withal I saw the wicked buried, and they that come to the grave, and they that had done right, went away from the holy place and were forgotten in the city. Read not Kiburim, Keburim, or buried, but Kibuzim, collected. Read not Veish Tekkehu, and were not forgotten, but Veish Tabehu, and triumphed. Some say that Kiburim can be rescued because even things that were buried were disclosed to them. End quote. And let's get to 56. No Jewish author would apply the words of God to a Roman about to desecrate the Holy of Holies, let alone from a passage that proclaimed the speaker to have no gods besides me. Given the known desire of the Flavians to become the God of the Jews, what other interpretation is even possible here that the author is proclaiming the divinity of the Flavians? The concluding satire contains the most concrete description of the Flavians' effort to control rabbinical Judaism. It describes an onkelos who raises Titus, Balaam, and Jesus from the dead with help from a necromancer. In the version of the passage that we give below, onkelos is described flatly as the nephew of the emperor Titus. In another version, it states that onkelos was the son of Kolomikos, who was the son of Titus's sister, in other words, Titus's grandnephew. This description is important in that it depicts a genealogy known to historians. Titus did have a sister who had a son named Clemens, corrupted above as Kolomikos. In Caesar's Messiah, Clemens, the son of Titus's sister, Flavia Domitilla, was shown to have been Pope Clemens I, the pope who, according to Jerome, was ordained by Peter himself. Because Clemens was recorded as having been a pope, the fact that his son, Onkelos, was a convert to Judaism is very notable. Onkelos was not merely a Jewish proselyte, but the composer of the Targum, a key part of the foundation literature of rabbinical Judaism. And y'all may be familiar with the different Targums and stuff. I actually have a couple different ones. But if that's the first time you hear it, look it up. In fact, the official Targum of the Pentateuch is designed by the name Onkelos as homage to its author, Titus's nephew. His laborers are referred to in the Megillah 3a as follows. Quote, quote, Rab Jeremiah, according to others, Rab Haya Bar Abba says, according to the statement by Rab Eliezer and Rab Joshua, Onkelos the proselyte has said, that is, has orally formulated the Targum of the Torah. End quote. It is hard to imagine that both of the versions of Judaism to have emerged at this time would have circumstantially had traditions stating that members of the Flavian family were its leaders. A more solid explanation is simply that the traditions reflect the insertion of Flavians into positions of power in these religions for the purpose of controlling them. The story describing Onkelos is also interesting in that it links Titus and Jesus to Balaam. Balaam is a complex figure in the Old Testament who refuses to curse Israel, though his neighbors beg him to do so. God communicated to Balaam the promise of the Messiah, the star. This was the prophecy that, to quote Josephus, did most elevate the zealots who waged war against the Roman Empire. Quote, he hath said, which heard the words of God, and knew the knowledge of the Most High, which saw the vision of the Almighty, falling into a trance, but having his eyes open. I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not nigh. There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel, and shall smite the corners of Moab, and destroy all the children of Sheth. And Edom shall be a possession. Seir also shall be a possession for his enemies, and Israel shall do valiantly. End quote. And that's Numbers 24, verses 16 through 18. This was the prophecy that Josephus and Zakai applied to Vespasian and thereby reversed its meaning from envisioning a Jewish Messiah to a Roman one. In the satire, a Bible passage is once again reversed. In the original version of God's statement, "Thou shalt not seek their peace nor their prosperity," is a curse upon the enemies of Israel. In the satire, the statement becomes a curse against Israel. Quote, "He that is wounded in the stones, or having his privy member cut off, shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord. A bastard shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord. Even to his 10th generation shall he not enter into the congregation of the Lord." Pause real quick. I just thought about something that we just learned about that. Think about what it said. Clearly, we know that, right? That's what it says in the Old Testament if we're familiar with it. But think about what we just learned about the Apostle Paul and him being castrated. And what about him teaching in the temple? Just something to think about. Let me just read this again. I'm just saying, I just kind of threw that out there. This was the prophecy that Josephus and Zakai applied to Vespasian and thereby reversed its meaning from envisioning a Jewish Messiah to a Roman one. In the satire, a biblical passage is once again reversed. In the original version, God's statement, "Thou shalt not seek their peace nor their prosperity," is a curse upon the enemies of Israel. In the satire, the statement becomes a curse against Israel. Quote, "He that is wounded in the stones, or hath his privy member cut off, or his testicles crushed or cut off, castrated," that's what I mean. "He that is wounded in the stones, or hath his privy member cut off, shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord. A bastard shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord. Even to his 10th generation shall he not enter into the congregation of the Lord. An Ammonite or Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord. Even to their 10th generation shall they not enter into the congregation of the Lord forever. Because they met you not with bread and with water in the way, when ye came forth out of Egypt, and because they hired against thee Balaam, the son of Beor of Pethor of Mesopotamia, to curse thee. Nevertheless, the Lord thy God would not hearken unto Balaam, but the Lord thy God turned the curse into a blessing unto thee, because the Lord thy God loveth thee. Thou shalt not seek their peace, nor their prosperity all thy days forever." End quote. And that's Deuteronomy 23, verses 1 through 7. No, hardhead. I don't think that's what it means. So children out of wedlock can't get into the kingdom. Is that what that scripture means about a bastard child? Maybe I interpret that wrong. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I think that was kind of interpreted wrong. Yeah, I think that was interpreted wrong. Yeah, that was interpreted wrong. Let me keep reading though. Onkelos, son of Chilomus, was the nephew of the emperor Titus. Onkelos was thinking about becoming a Ger, a convert to Judaism. So he went and, with the aid of a necromancer, raised his uncle Titus from the dead and asked him, "Who is held in the highest regarding the other?" I'm sorry. "Who is held in the highest regarding the other world?" Titus answered, "Israel." "What then?" Onkelos answered, "would you say about my joining them?" Said Titus, "Their observances are so numerous that it is impossible to endure them. Instead, go and attack the Jews in your world, and you will become master over them. As it is written, her adversaries are now masters. Lamentations 1 and 5. Whoever harasses Israel becomes a master of men. Next, Onkelos went and with the aid of a necromancer raised Balaam from the dead. He also asked him, "Who is held in the highest regard in the other world?" Balaam answered, "Israel." "What then," Onkelos asked, "do you say about my joining them?" Balaam said, "Thou shalt not seek their peace nor their prosperity all of thy days forever." Deuteronomy 23, verse 7, and Gittin 56 through 57. Then Onkelos went and with the aid of a necromancer raised Jesus from the dead. He asked him, "Who is held in the highest regard in the other world?" Jesus said, "Israel." "What do you say about my joining them?" Jesus said, "Seek their welfare, seek not their harm. Whoever touches them touches the apple of God's eye. Observe the differences in behavior between the sinners in Israel and the prophets among the nations of the world." End quote. And that's Gittin 57. The story ends with another short passage regarding Bar Kamza, the son of the insect, whose shunning by the rabbis led to the war between the Romans and the Jews. The passage begins with, and this is the last page, y'all. The passage begins with, quote, "It has been taught. Note from the incident how serious a thing it is to put a man to shame, for God espoused the cause of Bar Kamza and destroyed his house and burnt his temple." End quote. And that's Gittin 57. Gittin, 57. This statement is an amazing declaration. Not only does it confirm the premise that the son of the locust, Bar Chazma, is a satire of Titus, the son of the wasp, as it was obviously Titus, because that God espoused by destroying the temple. Let me read that again. Hold on. Okay. I got to break the sentence up. This statement is an amazing declaration. Not only does it confirm the premise that the son of the locust, Bar Chazma, is a satire of Titus, the son of the wasp, as it was obviously Titus, calls. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me start again. Okay. Titus is calls. Got it. Okay. This statement is an amazing declaration. Not only does it confirm the premise that the son of the locust, Bar Chazma, is a satire of Titus, the son of the wasp, as it was obviously Titus's cause that God espoused by destroying the temple, but it discloses the real reason for the war, the vanity of the Caesars. The entire Holocaust of the war and the creation of Christianity and rabbinical Judaism were brought about simply because of how serious a thing it is to put a man to shame. And have we not been put to shame with the shenanigans they taught us? Cedric, shalom. Yo, listen. The entire Holocaust of the war and the creation of Christianity and rabbinical Judaism were brought about simply because of how serious a thing it is to put a man to shame. When the man put to shame is megalo what? Megalomaniac. Hold on, y'all. No, it was locked, but it wasn't closed all the way.
Then close the door.
Your son, Jeremiah, what you come back for, babe?
I got to the warehouse, forgot the keys.
The keys to the what? The warehouse?
I forgot them, man. Come all the way back there, man. Golly, man. I called in, so I don't run behind. So it is.
Okay. Tell Lynn I said hey. Oh, and these. Oh, you sent them to me. Never mind. Debbie emailing me about the temps we used last week. They didn't send them timesheets.
No, they did not. They ratchet up stuff there. It ain't. They're not as professional as their website look. But
so how they know we're gonna send them correct hours?
Because we're honest people.
I know we're honest people, but how do they know that?
They don't. But I mean, You know.
What kind of operation are they running?
Well, you know, I always give people more than enough. So I mean, you can't complain about what I give.
Yeah, so.
Because I give you more than enough.
And you do.
Ain't that right, Bella?
Okay, let me finish this. We literally got a few more sentences.
All right, I love you.
Okay, babe, love you too. All right. I was struggling over this word. Hold on. When the man put to shame is a megalomaniac with unlimited power, it can be very serious indeed. The passage goes on to note Titus's assault on Jerusalem. Quote, Onkelos, son of Kolomikos, was the son of Titus's sister. He had a mind to convert himself to Judaism.
Mommy,
He went, hold on, Pooh, I'm literally, I got like a couple more sentences. We'll be done.
Mommy,
Yes. You don't want to wait.
can you just blow you a kiss?
Dad just blew me a kiss. I miss it. But I actually kissed him though. Quote, Onkelos, son of Kolomikos, was the son of Titus's sister. He had a mind to convert himself to Judaism. He went and raised Titus by magical arts, and he asked him, who is the most repute in the other world? He replied, Israel. What then, he said, about joining them? He said, their observances are burdensome, and you will not be able to carry them out. Go and attack them in that world, and you will be at the top. As it is written, her adversaries have become her head, etc. Whoever harasses Israel becomes head. End quote. Gittim 56. And the last sentence of this chapter. These stories seem to have been placed into the Jews' canon by the Roman administrators of rabbinical Judaism to document the creation of the religion by the Flavians. I'm going to read that again. These stories seem to have been placed into the Jews' canon by the Roman administrators of rabbinical Judaism to document the creation of the religion by the Flavians. So not only did we find out that they created Christianity, but they also created rabbinical Judaism. And not only that, they created the Muslim faith too, right? Boy, I tell you, the rabbit hole gets deep. All right, beautiful people. So that is our reading for today, and right at an hour. Even though I did like this long introduction with the Psalms, giving you the overview of it, and I'm gonna put the link of this book if y'all want to get it. I'm gonna give y'all the same link that I used to purchase mine. So if y'all want to get it, you can get it and have it in your own possession. I want to say, don't quote me, but I think it's a Kindle version. I think I saw a Kindle version because I'm gonna go back and download it. I don't know for sure. I'll put both of them in if it's a Kindle if you want to download it to your phone. Kindles are always cheaper anyway. It's probably like $1.99, you know. So I'm not sure if you can afford the $10 or not for the actual printed version of the book. But you know, if you can invest in it, I think it's a really good investment. But you really don't have to have it for real because you actually have the Book of Psalms in your Bible. But I would recommend, and you don't really, for real, like you really don't. If you're able to decipher what the Psalms are, you really don't need this. You can just kind of go and you will know what Psalms to pray for, whatever it is that you're dealing with, and it's just as powerful. But I think it's a good guide for those that are kind of stumbling and don't really know it, can't really decipher it yet. I think it's a good tool to use in the beginning until you're able to recognize some things automatically yourself. So like I said, this is not a plug for nothing. I ain't getting paid for saying it. I'm just telling you what I found to be a good reference for me that helped me, right? So if you missed the more detailed info about that, go back to the beginning of the video. It's like the first 20 minutes while I was going through it because we started at like 23 minutes. All right, y'all. But anywho, it is Wednesday, December the 1st, 2021, day 316 of year 3 of reading through the books of the law and the prophets and of the 3-year consecutive day count, day 984. We read Psalms 144 through 146, and we read the rest of chapter 14 in Shakespeare's Secret Messiah, pages 418 to page 424. Tomorrow we begin chapter 15, which is the conclusion of this I gave y'all. I was wondering. No, I'm not gonna do it as of right now. I was thinking we might just add this because this is really short, but it would be like we're going through the Psalms all over again. I mean, which is not a bad thing. It's 128 pages, y'all. I was just thinking about those who may not be able to really afford it for real. But like I said, either the printed or the Kindle version, or maybe it's not available. Maybe you don't have the app or whatever. I don't know. But let me think about this, y'all. Let me think about this, because it's literally gonna be like we're going through all the Psalms one more again. Let me think about that. All right, beautiful people. Bella, we about to do the blessing to the baby.
Move the books.
Move
the books.
Can I move the books? Oh, you want to sit right here? Okay. It's hot. Sis get up in the morning making her own stuff. She thinks she can cook. I mean, she can cook. She can bake a little bit. She do a little something. She get up, be ready. Because I be in the kitchen so much cooking. She just get right in here like it's a normal thing. She done got up, got her some leftovers and everything. So y'all heard the microwave and stuff. Y'all be hearing her shenanigans in the background in the morning. She be trying to make a smoothie and everything. Trying to cook on the stove. When y'all see me looking up, she trying to get stuff off the top of the refrigerator, out the cabinet. You're going to be a great cook, ain't you? All right, y'all.
And I'm going to water the plants.
You're going to water the plants. Yes, you do a great job in helping keep our plants alive. Because Claude knows I done killed more plants than I want to admit to in my day. Just in the last year. I'm developing my green thumb, y'all.
Why you just kill plants?
I didn't kill them on purpose. I was a little ignorant about what it took to keep them alive. Now that I'm understanding, I'm growing, and they're living a little bit longer. You know? All right, Pooh, come on. Remember, the blessing is found in Numbers chapter 6, verses 22 through 27. All right. You done? Chew it up. And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, On this wise ye shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, Yahuwah will kneel before us, presenting gifts, and will guard us with a hedge of protection. Yahuwah will illuminate the wholeness of his being towards us, bringing order, and he will provide us with love, sustenance, and friendship. Yahuwah will lift up his wholeness of being and look upon us, and he will set in place all we need to be whole and complete. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. All right, y'all. Love y'all. I will see y'all tomorrow morning, bright and early, 7:15 a.m. ish Eastern Standard Time. All right. That's it. You got something to say? No?
Yes.
Hit that one.